You know, when they mentioned Godzilla the Ride, this isn't quite what I had in mind.
Hey, less talking and more going. I don't pay $5 for you to stand here and monologue.
Alright. Make sure to strap on tight. Whoops. We don't take refunds. Alright, next. Oh, you've gotta be kidding me.
Oh, you better pony up there, chubby necks. Cause Godzilla Singular Point just came out, and I need to buy me a new TV, so... How does this saddle work? Onward, my mighty steed!
God, this is not worth the $5.
It was to me!
Listen up, Branders, welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve, and today we got a fancy schmancy review for everybody. Because what we have here is the Godzilla Store exclusive movie monster series, Godzilla the Ride Godzilla figure. There's a lot of Godzillas in there. But yes, this was a exclusive to the Godzilla Store, so if you guys are interested in picking this guy up after the video, he's not super easy to get a hold of because they don't ship stateside. So you either have to go through a third-party seller or find someplace that managed to get a hold of them. One stateside one that I know of that's got them pretty reasonably priced is Awesome Collector. They're showcased at Kaiju. You can get them through as well that I can think off the top of my head. I got mine from Mandrake, Japan, which is a website where it's a bunch of stores in one. And they got one of them in, so I ordered it through them. Or you could also go through like DJapan or other proxy services like that. Anyways, main reason I got this just because I thought he looked cool, especially after seeing videos of the ride, because there's people filming the entire ride, which looked pretty sweet. I don't want to spoil things, but I don't know if it's just the monsters are kind of weak-ish, or if Godzilla is just super OP, or they're just OP in general. Granted, I imagine it has to do with just the nature of the ride being short, so can't have the monster fights lasting too long, but it seems like Godzilla shows up and just wrecks everyone's day, which I thought was cool. Then just the design seemed pretty sweet because it's very like Heisei-esque with some touches of Millennium and a little bit of Shin here and there. So wanted to grab it. It cost me, it was a little over $70 after shipping for this. I want to say it was like 80 after shipping. But anyways, let's just get into it. So without further ado, for the packaging, we got his little card here, which shows Godzilla, the CG from the ride. Back here just has some dorsal spines, tells you it's a movie monster series. Inside, just some Liga Mumbo Jumbos and more of the same stuff we've already had. And now, I want to keep the card on because he is a hard figure to get a hold of. Like, this guy is expensive to begin with. But then again, I also don't want the tag on because photos and what have you. And I just like the look better. We're doing it. My wife's gonna kill me, but we're doing it. Alright, so now that the Godzilla Ride figure is open up out of its confinements, anyways, yeah. That's all we got. Godzilla opened up out of his confinement. First and foremost, comes with no accessories because it is a movie monster series Bandai vinyl. It's just, when you buy these guys, they're usually just like hanging on some pegs. So you don't get any extra little stuff to go along with these guys. Usually with these guys too, if you guys haven't checked out any of our other Bandai vinyl reviews, but they're not super posable. We'll start with that because there's articulation, nothing at the head, arm, can go all the way around, so can this side. Legs can go also all the way around. And that's it. Nothing at the tail, sadly. Kind of bugs me that there's a little segment here, which I imagine they had to do that for purposes of the way the vinyl was done anyways. But one thing I would like to see is kind of bringing back this being an articulated piece. Because it would be nice to be able to rotate the tail a little bit here and there. As I mentioned before, it's not like a deal killer for me, because if I'm going to leave them on the shelf, it's going to be lined up anyways. But just for some extra play value for photos and whatnot, it would be a nice little addition and something that they used to do, which they kind of steered away from nowadays. That and just, It'd have me 2 sections too, because it'd be kind of cool if you could rotate it and then kind of swing the tail out. Would have been neat. For the minimal amount of posability that would provide, still would be kind of cool. And moving on to a closer look at his details for his head sculpt. Looks fantastic. One thing I will say, compared to some of the other Bandai vinyls, is this thing is super detailed. Like, for the most part, majority of the scaling is very crisp. You can see all the nice little grooves and growths coming out of his back, because for Godzilla here, you can see some of the spines forming here, but they're just kind of all wish-wash in every which direction here along the side here. Usually it's fairly uniform, while in this Godzilla, he's definitely got a lot of just randomness going on with the design, which I think is actually pretty cool. It helps to kind of convey that he's a mutant in a way. You can also see the seam line here too along the back for the base of the dorsal spines, because this is where they would have been attached. But coming back to the head, it's very Heisei-ish, with the more, I guess, it's sort of like feline features in a way, with the rounded cheeks, the way the dorsal spines adore the top here, coming along the back. Same with his brows. Majority of the setup, outside of the thick, chunky neck, it definitely reminds me a lot of the like 94 Burning suit there. And then his teeth are painted nicely. It's got some coloring inside of the mouth as well, which is good to see. For the coloring for the monster, he's actually a bit more green in hand. It's a very like dark gray, almost black for the undertone, and then they did a sort of green dry brushing over top. And it's got a bit of a shine to it. And then the other thing for this guy's body style is he's definitely packed on a little bit of weight, which reminds me a lot of Heisei, with the thicker muscular legs, the larger middle section of the body. But then again, it also kind of gives me those vibes of like 2014 Godzilla in a way, with it also being a much thicker chest and torso area. And then for the spines, are fairly traditional looking for Godzilla. His legs, again, kind of thicker on the top, but have a little bit of a more dinosaur bend to it. Kind of like Shin, but much more elongated. With his 4 toes, which the toenails are actually painted. And then moving down the tail here, which the one thing that's kind of cool is that it has this rounded edge, which, again, very Heisei in the design, especially with the segmented sections. Oh, I just realized those look like little hands. It looks like he's got like a little baby, like a baby creature kind of forming out of the center section of his spines. Because there's like a little mouth here too. Oh, that's super weird looking now that I kind of got a little bit of an angle. Like there's like eyes here. It's almost like an upside down caterpillar in a way. I will say the one negative, I guess, is the coloring is a little bit inconsistent with some of the sections here being missed. Like around the base of the tail here. There's parts of his arm here. It's missing some of that green. Which, I guess it's mostly the same on that side too. So maybe it was kind of meant to be like that. But you'll see here too, it's a lot more condensed on the top shoulder here. You get nothing on the bicep. While this one, you get a little bit more of the green. And it's definitely a little hit and miss with the shading. Well, I guess the base of the tail here is not done either. I'm not certain why that would be, because it's also not on the groin section here, but it is on that part. Interesting. Interesting to say the least. Then finally, for his hands, we didn't actually go over those, but he does have 4 fingers. Just kind of karate chop position. And yeah, overall detailed really nice. Paint job's good. Already went over the posability, so I guess now is comparisons. Yeah, for some quick comparisons here, we have the Godzilla the Ride Movie Monster Series figure compared next to some SS Monster Arts characters with Shin Godzilla and the 2001 or 2021 Godzilla, my bad, painted to look like the Treadmasters. Here's next to some other movie monster series Godzilla vinyls with the Ultimate Godzilla from Singular Point and Shin Godzilla. Hey, here's next to some Playmates Godzilla figures with the Burning Godzilla and the American Godzilla 2021. And for some random comparisons, here is next to the Funko Pop 2021 Godzilla, the giant version, and the NECA Crimson Typhoon. And here he is next to the SH Monster 2017 Godzilla, the anime one, and the 2019 King Ghidorah, who doesn't really quite fit on the thing, and also had to dislocate the tail so that it could stay up because dumb me forgot to go get the stand when I brought it down. So overall for the Godzilla the Ride figure from the movie monster series, this guy's actually really sweet. $70 is definitely a push to acquire this, but in stores I think they were $50 a piece anyways, which paying 20 extra bucks to be able to get it to my house isn't that big of a deal, but still kind of hurts compared to when these guys are usually like $20 for vinyl. Like somewhere between like 15 and 25 depending on who it is. So you're definitely paying a premium price for this guy, but in terms of detailing, this thing is actually pretty phenomenal. When compared to a lot of the other Bandai vinyls. Anyways, the paint job, slight hit and miss, but that's something I kind of expect with these guys to begin with. And to be honest, even though, yes, I'd say it's a hit and miss, it's still better than the major majority of the ones we've gotten in the recent years. So would I recommend them? Yeah, if you guys are into like obscure Godzilla figures, because this is gonna be it, unless Toho decides to actually do something with the suit, but primarily it's just gonna be for the ride. So for like us stateside fans, it's gonna be more of a niche Godzilla figure. Like you can almost consider this guy as like a one-off Godzilla suit for the most part, kind of like a Shin in that aspect, but not as many people are gonna see it or know about it, especially the more average going fan. So if you're like average Godzilla collector, this is probably a fairly easy skip, especially at the price point for a vinyl. This is definitely going to be more for somebody that is more inclined to want to pick up every kind of Godzilla than just having their favorites. But what do you guys think? If you guys picked up this figure, what's your favorite obscure Godzilla collectible? Or is NECA just more your thing? We miss you. Please let us know in the comments. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, Facebook. Guys like to keep up with the day with channel donate. We greatly appreciate it. And also hit that annotation bell because it's another way to keep up with everything that's going on over here. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.